Alright guys, so this is my 1987 Chevy G30 van, and I never made a video about it, only just little parts here and there, but this is the overall, this is where we've gotten to after 5.5 years of owning it and traveling the US, kind of all over, and lots of short trips too, you know, beach trips, lake trips, and just trying to figure out what works best for the fam. I have 4 kids, 3 girls and a boy. When we first got this, we only had two oldest girls, and the others have come along since we've owned it. And so this van has definitely morphed and changed over the years, and we've done so many different types of camping. We tow a trailer sometimes, or a lot of the time, and when we take the whole family, and we also, you know, for short trips or day trips, you know, then it has a different use and a different layout. So it started out its life as a old school conversion van. It had the big leather puffy seats, it had 2 captain's chairs in the middle, it had a fold down bench in the back, and over time those have come and gone, and sometimes gone back in and come back out. So this thing's been so sturdy over time, and I definitely put it, you know, not just to good use, but to a lot of good use. So for me, just looking at the total value of what we've been able to experience using this van, I just can't, you know, you can't put a price tag on that, obviously, but the van started out its life as a $4,000 vehicle, and I've done minor repairs over time, but just things I was able to swap out ahead of time. In the description below, I have a playlist link to all the van related videos I've made on my channel, so hope those can help. Yeah, so even the most basic van is going to give you a level of comfort camping that you're not going to find in most other situations. We've even been in some heavy wind with our trailer, where my daughter is sleeping in this van. Slept much better than we did in the trailer, because the trailer was moving around in the wind. It was so windy, and some excess noise of things kind of flapping around the front little cover and things like that that the van just doesn't have, because it's just a big metal box. So definitely something to consider if you have children, you want to camp and you want to be comfortable, or if it's cold, it's easier to get these things warmed up. Most things about this are pretty stock. 5.7 liter engine, always running strong. It has the 3-speed transmission, does not have overdrive. Here's the top of my van with this big, like 7-foot cargo box. We have inflatable paddle boards in there right now. Got 200 watts of solar. They're different panels, but they're both pulling the same voltage, and both 100 watts. So these solar panels charge up the secondary battery that runs a fridge and an inverter. So the great thing about that is it just kind of keeps that battery charged up all the time, basically, whether we're driving or not driving. As long as there's sunshine and we're not in the shade, it's charging up the battery, so I don't have to think about that. Got this ARB awning. I gotta say, I've actually used that a lot less than I ever thought I would, but we've definitely used it, and it's been awesome when we did use it. Got some floodlights on the front there. When you're looking for a spot at night, yeah, it's nice to be able to see where you're going. I learned that the hard way. So some more lights there. This little porch light we have over the slider door is probably the most useful one. And we can have just that one on, and it's, you know, enough light to come and go from the van without it, you know, just totally being like a crime scene, you know. And then here on the front of the van, this little dude's also the next most useful one, because you can flip that one on and see the ground in front of you, the terrain. It is low enough that you see the shadows in the bumps, especially if you're out anywhere in the dirt, if you're camping out in BLM land or something where there's not really marked roadways, or there's the site, you know, if you're dispersed camping, then you're gonna want to see where you're going. I've definitely almost got stuck before we had these lights, you know, by taking a little funky little turn in the dirt, what I thought was the road and wasn't, you know, almost got stuck. And then other times we're just looking for campgrounds. So it's been great to have those, never get lost in the dark. You know, when we get to camp, can flip those on, see what we're doing. When we're trailering, we have to unhitch or park or back the trailer, and I can flip these lights on and see where I am, what I'm doing. Here's something I think a lot of people overlook, and that's having a good, solid cover for your front of your vehicle. So those actually loop over the doors in the top corner and then have a magnet in the bottom. So stays super dark on the inside. And for these windows, I have car front window shades that I just put in there, and they kind of stay up based on the curtains and things, and then it's reflecting out a lot of the light. These wheels aren't original. These are from like 2000 era Chevys, but that's what was on there. I didn't ever have any reason to spend money to change them, but you know, just have some decent little, you know, multi-use tires on there. Goodyear. Never had a problem with these. Been all over the country now with them, and no issue. These are 245 75 16. So the roof here is like Line-X spray-on bed liner, and that's been rad. It looks cool, but it's also very functional. Kids kind of beat that up. Hey, myself climbing up there, putting up surfboards and stuff. The hood of the van was all mutilated, the paint. So I just did like rattle can spray on, and that's held up for like 4 or 5 years now. There's a couple of chips in it now, but I think I did that right after I got the van, and it was like, so that was over 5 years ago, and what can I say? It's done the job. And then this wasn't always like this. This has come off over time in the rain and in the travels, but that's okay. The van is rad looking anyway, obviously. But you know, we use it. I take care of it, but at the same time, it is a tool for a greater cause, which is getting out camping with the fam. So even though it has some scrapes, the truth is they all mostly have a story. This stuff wasn't like this until we got to Virginia for the first time, and I never seen it rain so much in such a short period of time. Over 3 days, it rained like non-stop, heavy, and this stuff just literally just came off, like ripped off. Let's see, you know, things like this, scrape some trees somewhere, camping, you know, the back bumper's bent from hitting a signpost at a campsite in the Smoky Mountains, not the Rocky Mountains, Smoky Mountains, been to both, but yeah, so it's got its battle scars, but at the same time, that's how you know we use it. You know, of course, we have our stickers on there from the national parks we've been to. It's got the good vibes from the 80s. All right, there's a Trasharoo. Trasharoo is awesome. And there's some other brands that make the same thing, but this has been solid and held up. It's water resistant, so we end up using it a lot for towels, wet swimsuits. All right, so it rained, so my dad's gonna put his wet stuff from his tent into the Trasharoo. Oh yeah, perfect. There's a stove. Propane bottle. Various goods. This comes out further. Pan we used last night for quesadillas that were so good. I built this, if you can call it building. Just a very simple tray sled that is easy to put in and out. It's not even on any kind of roller system, but you can watch a video on how I built that. It's really simple, easy to do if you don't have crazy woodworking skills. For the slide out is just a simple steel rod, threaded. I just put that here and slide this guy back in. There's the foot that it threads into. And just like that, everything's in. Now it's pour over time. Oh yeah. So this electric kettle runs off a AC inverter that's up in the front. I'm not a big cooked breakfast guy, that's why I'm not so interested about boiling water on the stove. Not that I can't, I definitely can have that ready to go. But since we're eating donuts, if all I have to do is hit power on the electric kettle, that's just one less thing to deal with, and simple enough. That's what the little shelf hinges look like. They lock in place really good. Very stable once it's up. So under the bed, keep sand umbrella, oil coolant, Jackery just as a backup. I had to use that in regards to this van, but it's good to have it nearby. That's where my coffee goes. Alright, so here you can see, keep some string lights, some plates, coffee grinder, all go under there. James is happy about his donut. So you can see this is a really long bin, goes way back under there. Some hammocks, lanterns, some random stuff. So you can see there, that just all slides back in. Plenty of room under there. Actually a little extra room reaching all the way up to the front. Keep these Walmart like bathroom rugs under here so things don't go sliding around. And that works great. And they're easy to take out. You can vacuum under them or wash them. I built the bed platform. It's 14 inches high to fit those like bigger size utility bins, but I've never actually ended up using it like that. So if I did it over, I'd probably drop this just to give a little extra headroom there. And then I would still have room for all this stuff. But all in all, it's actually been very easy. You know, it's easy to slide this stuff in and out, not have to rearrange too much. It's a queen size going side to side, except that the last panel of the mattress is pushed up like a headboard. So it's not, of course, that actual length. I'm only 5'10", and I can, my feet, if my head's on the pillow like normal, my feet touch the wall on this side. So if you're tall, that's not gonna work for you. Or if there's just one of you, it could work for you because you can kind of go this side to side. And here's the important things. Here's our fridge. It's a 55 quart. It's been awesome. Love having that. Love having that there in between the driver and passenger seat because you can totally munch snackies while you're headed down the road. Obviously it helps when someone else is in the passenger seat to get that out, but either way is definitely doable. So got this little rubberized mat that these things sit on and they don't go sliding around. That was a new improvement. It took me 5 years to figure out. This is just engineered plank, vinyl plank stuff. It's held up great. I've had it in there for about 2 years, and how many miles of trips? I don't know, 10, 12,000 miles of trips. Keep the cheapy Walmart bathroom rug in here because you can just take it out, shake it off, sweep underneath, and put it back. Or you can go wash these in the wash machine when you're done with the trip, so that's easy. And I just keep tools with me, dog leash, some recovery ropes in case we get stuck. In here I have my air compressor for the tires, mini shop vac, a ratchet set, fire extinguisher, big wrenches that don't fit anywhere else. So this seat here, this gray seat, is a pop-up retractable 2-seat bench from a shuttle bus. Flips up against the wall. The car seat kind of takes up a lot of the space, so we generally use it only as a 1-seater. When the car seat is in that spot, we don't have as many humans usually as seat belts, so we have just one extra. Here's a 1200 watt Guiandale inverter. I just replaced an 1100 watt modified sine wave inverter, so I'm glad to have done that. Here's a little trash bag that's attached to the bottom of this thing, so when this retracts, this goes up with it. Just a little somewhere to keep the trash with all the kids that I have. Oh, so here's my 100 amp hour gel battery. Haven't upgraded it to a lithium battery yet, but so far it's never let me down. I've never run it out, so in that sense, all good. My fuse panel is back behind there. And here is my Renogy DC to DC charge controller. It's actually one of my favorite pieces of equipment. It takes input from both the solar panels on the roof as well as the alternator, and it's just super dead simple, and it works all the time. I love it. Highly recommended. So here's the bed. You can see it's cozy. The back of the bench makes it kind of a little buffer, so like with the little ones, they can kind of all pile in there and you're not afraid of anyone falling off. Backrest, something to lean on. The dog used it as his pillow last night. This bench has been awesome. It came out of a Dodge, 90s Dodge van. It was the 4th seat, so it had the 4 seat belts, and it's as wide as the van is. And man, it's super cushy and becomes like a couch. And then someone can sleep on it as well. That happens all the time. So on our last trip, we did 1,800 miles to Florida from Virginia and stopped at all the states on the way. And we had one girl sleeping here, one here, and 2 in the back. And my wife and I and the babies were in the trailer. Okay, so there's a little 99-cent little rack we use to hang little things we need to find later. So there's a lantern, some string if we need to hang something up, or a the dog's collar. Here's a little USB fan pointing at my dude's seats, so he gets a little airflow. He's the only one who doesn't have direct airflow. So we can get it pretty dark in here, well, nights and mornings. And I would say one of the biggest advantages of a van over some other vehicles is that we're also insulated from the light if you have good curtain setup. And my kids, man, going from tent camping, or trying tent camping with them, to van camping was just like a world difference. They sleep late. They sleep later in the van than they do at home. Even this little dude slept in this morning. It was awesome. We've definitely been in some situations where the weather was just super nasty, and you know, we slept through the night, no problem. Slept in late. The people that we were with that were tent camping, who also had children, they're like up all night, you know, basically, and didn't get any rest. So I replaced all these old dome lights with LEDs so they can be on without major concern for the front battery getting under voltage. So there's a good number of those that light up. You can see there. Oh, that's nice. I didn't have to rip those out. I could just swap them to LEDs. We also have these little bulb lights that are USB powered, and they provide a nice little ambient light. You can definitely just turn those on, especially if everything else is dark, and you know, see what you're doing, but not be blinding yourself. I've also added these blackout curtains I just got off Amazon, and they're super dark. Our other ones, we washed them and they are just so old they're just falling apart, and these black ones really add another dimension of darkness to the vehicle when they are shut. So mornings stay dark, kids sleep late. Since this is a camper van and not a daily driver, I have added these eyelets that connect to a charger, in this case the Noco X Connect, so I can hook up the Noco Genius series chargers, and I just leave that hooked up whenever I'm not using it. So this just keeps the battery topped off, and instead of digging for alligator clips, I just have to unhook this. I'm ready to go. Alright, so I hope this encourages you that even with a small budget and minimal know-how, you can definitely get a rad van in a good camping situation for a family or even for yourself, and get out there and enjoy whatever camping opportunities you have around you. And thanks for watching.